simple for now. He's basically typing the question on a screen in front of me, so we will have a bit of delay. And I try to also check out the question.
Hey guys, we also are on Facebook.
Where? Yeah. On peut mettre la caméra. Okay, so it's good, Nicolas?
Right.
Can you?
It's okay.
Earlier, you answered some of the questions that we had on our Facebook.
Hey.
Maybe we can ask this question
Hey,
again for the people that didn't necessarily checked it out. Okay. Nico, the question that you replied on your computer, maybe you can ask those again.
There was a question about final logo. You want me to answer?
Non. Les questions auxquelles je répondais tout à l'heure sur notre page. Est-ce que tu peux me les reposer? Ah, the logo in the middle. Yeah. Big question. So that was pretty much the one of the big thing with our prototype. Most of the early users, as well as the first person that checked it out, were a bit disappointed of the logo. So yeah, of course, we decided to move it. So we are not sure yet where we're going to position it, but it's not going to be in the middle on the final product. Probably on the edge or top of the device. So it's not going to be like this. I see a question about the LED color templates, customizable. Yeah, of course. That's one of the big thing about the ERAE. It's fully customizable. So if you haven't checked it out already, basically you have 16 layouts on one project, and you can put anything you want on the layouts. So the way it works is that you have an app on your computer where you can customize the layout the way you want. So you can choose to have, I don't know, 5 keyboards, some faders, anything you want on your layout. And you can customize the colors, the fade effect, the animation when you play. For example, you can have like ripple effect when you touch it. You can decide that the note goes completely dark when you play it. You can really push the customization really, really far. And yeah, you can. It also reacts to the MIDI messages. So, for example, you can play a melody that is sent to the MIDI channel of your layout, and it will gray out the note as if you were playing them. So you can also use that as a sort of a way to learn music or anything like that.
I have a question here about how to update the firmware. So the firmware will be updated straight from the companion software ERAE Lab. And anytime we have a new firmware, you'll have a pop-up on the software telling you there's a new firmware available, and you can click and download it.
In isomorphic mode, will the pads be MPE? Yeah, of course. MPE, it's basically a switch that you can turn on and off on every keyboard you make. So when you make an isomorphic key read like this on our software, you can decide if it's MPE or not, and it's the same with the chromatic keyboard. So you can basically make anything MPE any keyboard MPE with the ERAE Touch. Of course, that is one of the best thing with this computer is that we have tons of XYZ information that you can translate to your music.
Can I scroll through different arrangements or views? So like I can have a keyboard scene, then push a button and switch to a drum scene. Yes, pretty much. Well, we have a home button here where you can go to one of the 16 layouts you have in memory. There are actually 32 layouts. And so, yeah, like here you would have nothing because I set nothing on layout 12. But if I go on 1, then 2, and then hit 4, I can access those. And there's another button, the Alt button, where you can access a sub mode. So you have actually 16 layouts times 2. It's quite convenient if you have like a duo set of layouts. So here I have the isomorphic. I press Alt and I have a launchpad for Ableton Live. It's quite convenient. Or you can always go back on the home and select another layout. Hope it's clear.
How do you hook up? How do I sing? Well, there's a MIDI output. It's a jack, but the jack to DIN5 adapter will be provided
somewhere here.
So you can hook it up directly to a polyphonic synthesizer and just play, and it will work like that. And the USB class compliant, yeah, it's compliant. So you can hook up to any USB MIDI device, including iOS devices and stuff like this. So yeah, we tried it with like polyphonic synthesizer. There's not a lot of MPE hardware synthesizer for now, but it's slowly coming, and you can play MPE directly without having to go through a computer.
Alors, note on off channel pressure and CC74.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, all this, of course, all this.
Yeah, it's a question related to MPE. It's we have implemented like the classic MPE protocol. So it goes on the CC674. You have the channel pressure and the pitch bend, of course. But you can also extend the standard MPE protocol with other CCs and stuff. You can use the X, Y, and Z data from your fingers for any MIDI CC that you want. It's not just the standard MPE protocol. You can go further than that. There's a lot of questions on Facebook.
Yeah. So from Facebook, can you slide from one cell to the edge? You have another question first?
This is the first one.
Okay, what kind of expressive features does the ERAE provide? All the musical gestures like portamentos, slides, pitch bends, velocity sensitive aftertouch, release velocity as well, which is the lift, the Rolly nomenclature. And we have yeah, drumstick enabled play, so you can play with drumsticks, which is pretty fun. You can use it as a drum pad. Maybe Stefan over there will play some drums later on. Do you know it quickly, maybe? It'd be nice.
So another question related to MPE. Can you slide from one cell to the adjacent ones? Of course you can. We have implemented that in a particular way. Again, you can turn that on or off as every features. When you slide from one cell to the other, it will pitch bend to the pitch of that cell. So if you have an isomorphic keyboard with a particular key, it's not like a linear pitch bend. You have local pitch bend on one cell, but when you go from one cell to the other, it will bend, it will portamento to that cell. And you can do that in MPE. So you can have I don't know, 3 maintained nodes, and slide to other cells, and it will pitch bend to those cells. So this is in our software. This is called portamento. You can disable it also and have a classic pitch bend, linear pitch bend, wherever you are on the keyboard. But it's
And this is available on keyboard mode, of course. Does it have a sequencer? Yes, since yesterday actually. There's a video on YouTube and Instagram because the sequencer is actually on the other pad across the room. But yeah,
it has been developed last week and tested like yesterday. So it's quite new. We have still a lot of work to do, but it's a basic but not so basic performance sequencer. It's a 64-step sequencer. You have 64 patterns memory, and you can have it works with the layouts. So you can have one sequencer per layout, and each of those sequencers on every layout can play one of the 64 patterns simultaneously. So you can pretty much play your an entire like several instruments sequenced, and add some live play on top of that with MPE layouts or stuff. So it's not, our instrument is not a sequencer, but the sequencer that we're implementing is pretty fun.
Is there a specific script for Ableton Live? Yes, there is. Yeah, it's right here. So basic launchpad.
We have developed the script also, and it's for now. Maybe we're trying to, we're in touch with Ableton Live, so that the Ableton team, so that they can put the script, mainline it into their software. But for now, you have to add the script yourself. But probably in the near future, probably even for the first backers in January, February, it will be mainlined into Ableton. So yeah, it's what you'd expect from a standard launchpad type.
We mentioned the LED touch data is available from MaxMSP. Is there a wire protocol to use with other languages? So yeah, this big question of API, we thought that first we would send all the data, raw data via SysX, and we will make Max4 Live external to get all this data. But yeah, in terms of API with many languages, we will see in a second phase. It requires obviously lots of time and effort, so we will see if it's really worth it. But from the MaxMSP external, I think you can do pretty much.
Yeah, basically we're going to develop some MaxMSP blocks to interact with the pad, but it's raw SysX in the end. So it's MIDI messages, and you can use any languages you want to interact with it. It's just that we're gonna develop some MaxMSP building blocks. So yeah. I see that we've missed, we skipped a question.
Layout at most. How many elements? Oh, the smallest element would be a button, which is 4 LEDs. And I always forget, but if you divide...
It's 2 by 2, and that's 252 elements per...
Yeah, 250 elements per layout. Yes.
So that's a lot. You can have an isomorphic keyboard with that many keys if you want, or several. So it could be a fun machine for drones and stuff like that. We've missed a question about drums.
Yeah, in the drum demo, it says they are playing a 2x4 layout of XY grids with each drumstick hit. Are we getting a note for the hit and 2 CCs? Yes, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. So each pad is actually an XY pad. Yes.
Support for Bitwig. Honestly, we haven't looked at it. I suppose for launchpad type, it works kind of the same as Ableton. You have to write a Python script to make it communicate correctly. So we will do it, obviously, Bitwig is becoming an important software in the DAW community, so we will do it. Yeah.
Can I really wail on it while drumming, or will I break it? Yeah, that's a good question. To be honest, we haven't really practiced for years on it, so it's hard to say. But from what I can tell, it's very solid. It's a sheet of metal, quite thick metal, covered with a thick layer of silicon. So my opinion is that it will be very robust. But in terms of like little marks and bumps you could get on the silicon, that's another question. It's a concern we have, where maybe in a few months after hitting with drumsticks, you'll see the little bumps on it. But you know, so does snare drums after a while. So I think it's okay. Anyways, if it's a problem, the silicon skins on top are removable, and then they can be changed. Not for free, of course, but they can be changed.
I see there's a question about the current draw. It draws about 2.5 amps at 12 volts peak. So when all the LEDs are white, the LEDs are what consume the most energy. So yeah, but if you use the included power supply, you won't have any problem with that.
How many colors on the LEDs? That's a question for you, Etienne. I don't know. How many colors?
That's 18 bits.
Six bits per color.
Yeah, that's 18 bits.
So it's about 250,000.
Yeah.
250,000.
250,000 colors. It's 18-bit RGB, so
No. 250,000.
2 to the power of 18. We leave that to our watchers. Okay.
What are the minimum and maximum measured forces? Yeah, that's a really good question, and we're thinking of actually doing some tests for it. So far, it's been only empirical, but yeah, we will release soon some more experiments on this bit, and maybe we can add something on it, like the new...
Sensitivity force is basically the core of our product. Something like that that's insensitive is pretty much useless. So that's as the first engineer working on the product, that was my goal, to get something amazing. We started with something acceptable. Now we have something really good that are on par with what you can find everywhere else, like the button push, the goalie stuff, etc. And I'm currently working on something even better that will be ready for like next week or so. We received the new prototype, and that's the version that we're going to send to the backers. I mean, it should be extremely sensitive. We're talking on the prototype, I can put like a really small pencil on it, and it can detect it. So we are talking a few hundreds of grams. It's going to be really sensitive. We're really happy about the new prototype. But for now, we are still improving it. We will release videos really soon of it detailed. For now, it's good. We're going even farther than that and make it really amazing. Like we want to have the most sensitive device on the market, and we are getting there with the new hardware version. Can we play Wonderwall? Yeah, I guess we can. We could.
Sorry about this. Are the dimensions finalized? Yes, the product is completed, so yeah, it won't change anymore in terms of dimensions. Right.
Will you have a non-FB for users? Yeah, of course. We're gonna make classic for our users to exchange and to exchange between them and with us also. So, for example, we have a pretty solid set of features right now, but if there is a feature that is really important, we will, of course, implement those.
That's good, touch it.
Will the surface be calibrated to account for difference in individual sensors? That's something we've thought about. We are trying to make our hardware, how to say that properly? We're trying to compensate the fact that some sensors might be more sensitive than others, and it goes basically we have some sort of surface filtering so that if some sensors are less or more sensitive than their neighbor, it's going to be averaged through our acquisition technique. I'm not good enough in English to explain it, but it's some hardware tricks, and that's been also an important part of the works, because you don't want to play with the set and force on one position and the same force on another position, and the velocity is completely different. That's not what we want, and that's not going to happen. So if we have to go through sensor by sensor calibration, we will, but hopefully we won't, because our technology allows us not to have to do that. I don't know if I'm clear enough, but
Dimensions are 42 centimeters by 24, but all the specs are on the website and on the Kickstarter page. Can you demo to play a guitar VST? I could look up for this. Is this a guitar? Yeah, sorry, it's not the best plugin maybe, but yeah, it works great for guitar playing.
unfortunately we don't have an excellent keyboard player in the office.
Yeah, that's
But
it.
that should show us what you can do. 2x4. Ivan asked he's seen a different type of grid, 2x4, 6x10, isomorphic keyboard, and he's asking if we can do other aspect ratio. Yes, you can. You can do anything you want. With the software, you can make smaller,
Big pads, smaller pads. You can go even smaller, 2x2 LEDs.
Maybe you can show the
ERAE Lab.
lab.
That's right. Étienne, maybe tu peux mettre le ERAE Lab pour créer un patch.
Basically, the unit is going to ship with the companion software, ERAE Lab, and on ERAE Lab you can customize
Ouais, comme ça on le voit sur l'écran.
the layouts. So you can make the grid any size you want, from 2x2 to the whole pad. It's going to show the software. Did we miss any questions so far?
Est-ce que je peux l'incliner un petit peu pour qu'on voit mieux l'écran?
Yep. Yeah, we can barely see it. Maybe we can see it from.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should check from.
If you check, and maybe we can send you a link of a screenshot of the ERAE Lab.
Why? Why?
Non, ça va, c'est pas trop mal.
Probably on the phone it's okay, but on the Facebook Live we can't see anything.
Yeah. So maybe I should show my screen directly to the. Yeah. Instead of the screen.
Maybe load an EMK file.
No, I don't have. Voilà, comme ça.
Nah, we don't see anything. Is there an
one.
Curry is asking if there's a no wrong note mode for a chosen scale. Yes, there is. It's one of the big feature of the isomorphic mode. There's a really cool display where you can select your scale. So you can select your key here and your scale here. So you can choose. Right now we have 12 scale, but we're gonna push it even further to have custom scales and stuff like that. So yes. So right now we are in C melodic minor. Yep. So there's no wrong note, and you can change that to F major, F sharp major. Ah, it's still C. That's a bug. It happens. Is there?
Is there some job?
Axel is asking if we plan on making spare parts if the drumstick impacts really deteriorate the surface. Of course, we will do that. I mean, we believe that our surface will resist for several years to drumstick impacts. But if it doesn't, of course, we're going to replace the parts. That, I mean, yeah, it makes sense.
And actually, the device is only made of 4 different parts and some screws. So, and no glue or anything like that. So it's actually a very, very simple device. So it will be easily replaceable and fixable.
There's a question about the pitch bend per square. Can we adjust it? Same for Y, Z, curve and stuff. Yes, you can. There's a ton of parameters on the software, on the companion software. You can adjust the strength. There's also a filter that you can add. So basically, if you bend a bit, I don't know how it's configured on that particular layout, but you can add a filter that if you play the note and bend it a little bit, the pitch is gonna come back to where it should be, to the just note. You can also enable or disable the portamento, as I said earlier, and it's the same for every dimension. So you can assign every dimension X, Y, Z to any CCs, set the strength, set the filter, set the minimum and maximum values that it's gonna reach. You can do pretty much whatever you want. Is the patch attached to a microphone stand, and how does it connect? Right now it's attached to a special stand. It's a drum stand, and the back panel will be compatible with the standard drum stand, so you can attach it to a drum stand. Does it sequence? Yes, we've just implemented a sequencer. We have posted a small video about it on socials if you want to check it, and we will talk about it more in the future.
Mm-hmm.
On the website, they show it attached to standard Warren multiple. Yeah, thanks. Ivan replied to one of the questions. Is there an output for video to project the screen? No, there isn't. It's really not what we designed it for.
We have a special request from.
We know that it's not something that it's something that some users might want to do, but you can't do that. However, what you can do, if you are developers, you can get the data get the LED data from the LED from the LEDs, and use it however you want on custom scripts.
Mathieu, we have a special guest, so we're going to connect with Mid, the artist.
Sounds good.
Is he on?
He's connecting now. So he's with us now.
Okay, hi Mid. How are you doing?
I'm really good.
Thanks, glad you joined in.
Hey.
So, yeah, how are you doing? Can you hear me?
I'm really good. I can hear you. I'm happy to be with you and be part of the MPE story.
Yeah, it's great. So, yeah, so you've been working on with us like for a few months now.
Yeah.
We shipped you the first units, prototypes, and they were full of bugs. And with you, we managed to like make them work little by little. Um, like so far, you've been working on it for like what, few months?
Yeah. I'm working with it for months. I started my live show when I met your team. So we got decided to add this gear to my setup and to be able to work with you to have it perfectly the way I wanted to add it to my setup. So, and it's exciting to have a gear that first nobody has on stage, and also which is totally customizable. Can you say that?
Yeah, that's correct. So obviously,
so
like
for me,
obviously for you, what was like the first assets to this controller? Is it like more about the expressivity or the way you can have many layouts and many functions on it?
for me, the first thing was to customize it, and to use it my way. I love the fact that you have the software on the computer and you can do your own presets. It's really important for me to customize everything every time. It could be for logo, for example, but for
Yeah.
the ERAE Touch is like more. If I want like 3 faders, if I want like two two buttons, one knob, I can do it my way, and it's really important.
Yeah, that's great. And well, thanks so much for being part of it, developing with us, and being patient because of the bug fixes. You need patience, of course, to work on them. But yeah, I mean, thanks to you, we managed to solve so many issues, and we have a better idea of how it is for a professional artist like you, how it could be used on stage, but also in the studio. I think these both aspects are very important, and we really hope that you can use them both on stage and for your production.
Yeah, and what I like is you are improving it day after day. For example, I know that now there is a sequencer, and I'm really impatient to try it. So it's really good.
Yeah, the sequencer just arrived yesterday. I think it's about one of the last big functions we wanted to add. The last one will be the arpeggiator. Should arrive soon. And then I think we are complete for the V1.
Yeah,
so are you thinking of, sorry, go for it.
Yeah, tell me.
Are you willing to use it for your next live session as soon as you can play live again?
I already recorded a live session where I'm using it, pretty basically. So it's only for this one, it was only 3 tracks, and because it was at the beginning of my live setup thoughts, so it's pretty much just buttons, but it's working pretty well, and it's also really beautiful in the setup. So it looks beautiful and it's useful, so it's important for me.
Yeah, it's not just a pretty face, huh? You can actually pitch bend, play MPE. We're gonna get into this. It'll be exciting. All right. Well, thanks again for your contribution. Of course, we'll spend much time in the following weeks going through different modes, and you can reach me anytime to ask for help, and we'll make it very nice until we release the products.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, me.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. So yeah, any other questions? 16 keyboard on a single layout. Can we have 16 keyboards on a single layout? That's a lot.
It's the maximum.
That's the maximum? Okay, yeah, that would be a very like thin keyboard, I guess. But yeah, it's possible. About future repair, users will be able to order from your shop and repair by themselves on the device. Good question, Nicolas.
Yeah.
What's the plan for repair? Is it best to ship individual parts, because nothing is glued on this pad, so there are some screws underneath. It can be opened.
What's the question? Sorry.
The question is about repair. Is it possible to repair yourself, or?
Well, actually, there's a very few pieces in it, so I can show you, because I heard someone questioning, so I came with some parts. So here actually the main part of the product. Thank you.
It has just 3 parts.
There's just 3 main parts. So this is the main board, which is contains the electronic and not the sensor. Actually, the sensor I don't have it, but the sensor is a thin layer, and this is going to be inside the silicone, which is a 6 millimeter thick part. So actually, we have Facebook here, and we have Instagram here. Okay, and this is a very simple way to make it. But actually, if you wanna repair, there is no mechanical part that you can remove or change. All the electronic board should be changed, so we can make it easily, and we can, for example, if the silicone has a problem, we can change it easily, or we can change the board
Not
here.
for free though, but it can be changed.
Okay, thank you, Edgar. But it's technically, repairable, but not by yourself, I guess.
Can we add MIDI LFOs in the future? Yeah, in the future there will be many ads. So first thing, it's MIDI 2 ready, and one of the implications of MIDI 2 is that when synthesizers will be MIDI 2 ready too, we'll be able to get informations from the synthesizers. So if a synthesizer or even a VST has LFO control, we could get this LFO control on our pad, visualize it on the pad. So we'll go into this direction where you can actually have the full pad displaying features about each VSTs and effects. About the number of LEDs, the product is fully done, so we can't change right now. It's been like a few prototypes, a few generations, and I think this is what we're happy with. Of course, it has some drawbacks in terms of, like the number of pads and everything, but I think we managed to have what we find reasonable here.
If you have any question for the drummers, we have Stefan, one of the artists who play in our video, who joined us, so don't hesitate. You are a drummer and you consider or you are interested by this product, so you can ask specific question for this. Okay.
Petite démo, Stéphane?
Si tu veux, mais peut-être qu'il y a des questions ou pas? Il n'y a pas de questions pour l'instant.
Là, non, pas de questions.
Yeah, please send your question because.
Je te le mets plat?
Tu veux que je joue?
Carrément, ouais.
Attends, il y a combien de temps?
Hey guys.
Oh, je l'ai bien serré, dis donc. Comme ça, toi?
Non, mais qu'il le voit, c'est bien.
Ah, ok.
Ouais.
Top. Trop bien.
Yeah, so you can see it's really responsive. It's really great. Ah yeah, more cowbell. Attends, je vais m'installer. Hop.
Someone is asking you if right now you are playing big pads. If it's possible to play the drums with the stick on smaller pads, like what's the smallest that you've tried, and if it's okay. Like,
Okay. Well, I would recommend to stay on this type of size because you know how it is when you are playing, you get crazy and sometimes you may miss things. I think it would be possible to make it thinner, but 8 is already average size for any pads like the Octopad and those other kinds of pads you will find around the market. So, but yeah, it's possible. I would recommend to stay on this size.
Also, the same person is asking if there is crosstalk between the pad. I know the question is no, but I can
means
if when touching one pad, it can trigger another on the side.
I don't think it does.
This
Let's see if I go to the I play merging. So see, I'm really on the edge. It's still the snare. So it's quite reasonably yeah. I don't know how to say. If I try to play like really on the middle, I think it would be almost the same if you play on an Octopad and you play like just on the line. It may trigger one or the other, but to be honest, I think it's quite impressive how it works for now, and apparently it will be even better. So, to me, to me, the interest I had when I called the guys to join the project was because when I play in some of my projects, I will play either some pads, either some keyboards, either launch samples, and so the idea to be able in just one push to be able to change totally the layout. Let's see, you see what I mean? And be able to avoid having to carry on one MIDI controller keyboard, one pad, and so on. This was really interesting to me, and the more I go with the product, the more I'm impressed, and I'm very happy to purchase one or to get one maybe with a price. We'll see. I'm still dealing on this. Ah?
Les écrasés.
Des écrasés, of course.
Les
so
écrasés.
you can. So this is some fun stuff you can do also. And I suppose you will be able to change the velocity, and then maybe also be able to play very thin parts. It depends if you're like a very sensitive player, or if you're like more a hitter, you will maybe be able to change velocity. Maybe you want to respond to this, Edgar, about changing velocity, depending on how loud you play. Will this be possible, or?
Yeah, it's already actually velocity sensitive.
Yeah. Right. Ouais.
And we've answered this question before, but obviously because of the 4 sensors, each pad has 2 dimensions where you can set your CCs on the X and Y axis. So each pad is not just one big pad. It can be used to change the texture of your snare or your hats or anything. So yeah, there are about 100 force sensors in each pad in a 4x2 layout. So quite a lot of little variations to be done in each pad.
So I could imagine, like, if I'm playing in a reggae band or dub band, to maybe create a larger pad layout and have here like a normal snare, and here like a snare with a lot of reverb or delay on it, and be able to play that da.
Yes. Yes,
That's
absolutely.
amazing,
And here we have just the pads, but you could be adding also little sliders, like. Well, that's the same principle. Here you have a keyboard, but it could be various pads, and you have all your little sliders for your various effects on it. You could also have, your maybe it's already there. Let's see. Here, what I have is a keyboard. Sorry, the image is very saturated. I can see on the screen. But here you have a keyboard, and here you have a pad, and here you have a little mixer. So you can play your keys, do a bit of finger drumming here, and play some keys there. Yeah, it's
Wow, nice.
many things in the same time.
Ah oui. And you can play also with the stick. Yeah. So yeah, here you have like a very, very tiny pad, but it would be possible to play also on this. So this responds to the questions just before, but
I think so.
you have to be super precise. Not that easy.
Will those buttons on the side hold up to a drum stick hit? Can you try hitting those buttons, maybe?
So it gets it's logical, so take this one.
Basically, you trigger the pad, but you don't trigger the switches.
Yeah.
Because the switches are mechanical, so you really need to push it
Yeah.
up. Maybe a little parenthesis. We just realized that
Tu veux prendre la place?
maybe need the full team. Thanks a lot. Need the. So yeah,
to
we
interact
just
the-
realized that we are founded. So thanks a lot, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much. Found it
Such a
in
great
1 hour. It's great. Really awesome. Very awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hope we'll have a long future with this and many more to come. And yeah, we'll be posting loads in the coming days, weeks until we deliver product in February. So if you have any other questions, don't hesitate, ask us, and we'll be answering. We're doing this. Yeah. So thanks again for being
thank you.
with us.
Nice.
And yeah, let's catch up soon.
Is there any question before we wrap it up?
Maybe a last question on Facebook.
No, I think we've replied to all the questions.
How many people still with us?
There's 20 people still with us. Well,
Okay, I
Yeah,
can
I
make a
think
tour
we-
of the product because I saw the question. So.
Well, thanks again, and have a nice day. Bye bye.
bye.